Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I am H.K. Song from Stuyvesant High School.
I'm Hallie Bello from North Shore High School.
I'm Kyle Chu from the Dalton School.
I'm Lindsay from the Pingree School. What is PlantStem? PlantStem is a garden and farm planning software that will present a list of plants that best fit the user's environmental conditions. We felt that PlantStem was necessary to create just because most people garden as a hobby and not as a profession, so they don't have the expertise to create a sustainable and efficient garden. PlantStem comprises of two parts, one, a probe that collects the conditions, and a garden imaging software. In this software, the user is able to put down where their probe is and then see a visual representation of their garden. So they put it down and then access the list of suggested plants. The software also includes a feature where they could see companion planting. So if the software knows that there are two plants on the suggested plant list that go well together, it might suggest them as a pair. It will also consider special abilities. So, for example, say the user wanted something that repelled mosquitoes. Hopefully the software would be able to look through the plant list and find something that meets these needs. Basically, we're tapping into the special abilities of plants that often go underutilized.
So this is the hardware of our probe. So going for the left image in a clockwise direction, that is our battery, moisture sensor, humidity and temperature sensor, our Bluetooth and our light sensor, and the right image is our pH sensor. And these are images of our probe, and you can see this in room 101. Because some plant growth factors are more important than others, our group had to come up with a decision algorithm, and its purpose was using pre-collected optimal condition data and data collected from the soil to produce a suitable list of plants. So this is a two-step process. The first step is, as you can see, finding the difference for each growth factor, and the second step is combining all of this and giving an overall difference for each plant.
So how do we actually recommend a plant for you? We use Java to process our data, and here's a little flow chart of how your data will lead to the final output. So you're going to put your probe into the soil for about a day, and then we're going to collect that data. And that data is a bunch of numbers, so we have to take the average of that. So we're going to pass that to our average function. And then we're going to pass that to our algorithm function, which was previously discussed. And then finally, we're going to have a final output. So we had to collect data beforehand, and we stored it in a hash table, which is just a fancy list where you have the name of the plant on the left, and then you have your specific data ranges of optimal conditions on the right. So here's your final output. It's sorted from best to worst, from top to bottom, so you'd want to plant pumpkins here and not potatoes. And the percent difference off of your optimal soil conditions are on the left, and the name is on the right.
We also built a website that hopefully one day the user will be able to access the data that the soil probe collects. We also have in a table, as pictured here, information about companion planting, if that's what you were wondering about. Also, it has information about how the probe works and how to use it. And there's also a contact page if you have any questions about the probe use.
So based on everything we've shown so far, we've submitted a provisional patent application called the method and software used to recommend plants, and below are two of the figures we drew to explain our patent application. So I'd like to thank all the organizations, teachers, and TAs, and professors who helped us with this entire project. And thank you.
Hello, we are the SoQ Filaments, and we created the filament joiner. I'm Solby.
My name is Daniel, and I'm from Stuyvesant High School.
I'm Brian, also from Stuyvesant.
I'm Nicole, and I go to ICE. So, today, every day we face so many problems in the world. We're running on so little sleep, and the costs are only rising. So we, the SoQ Filaments, want to give you the power to manufacture with ease, affordability, and speed. And anything you can do, we can do better because we have the SoQ Filament Joiner. So join us. So what is a 3D printer? So 3D printers create 3D objects, as many of you used before. So the steps are a 3D model is then created by a CAD. CAD stands for Computer-Aided Design Software. This CAD is then sent to a 3D printer, and then the printer then synthesizes that 3D object by melting the filament into successive layers. And what can be printed? Pretty much anything you can CAD. So you can print a motor, as you can see on the top. You can print very detailed art sculptures and even prosthetics, which you can see on the bottom. The significance is that 3D printers give the everyday consumer the ability to manufacture, and that drives innovation for students like us, and we can test concepts through trial and error, and this is all very affordable, and we can do it really fast.
So because 3D printers are a relatively new technology, they also have various issues. And one of these biggest issues is running out of filament mid-print, which results in wasted filament and wasted time. So our product, the SoQ Filament Joiner, is going to remedy this problem by joining the trailing end of the first spool of filament with the starting end of the second spool of filament, so that even if the first spool runs out mid-print, the print job will finish. So we have a picture of our model there of our project. It's not fully working yet, but we have a patent pending.
So how this will work is we're going to use an Arduino to make this autonomous, and it will bind the filament when need be. So what you have above is an overview of what our system looks like. We split it up into 3 subsystems. Each subsystem has its own purpose, and on the left, or on the right, you can see a snippet of the code that we wrote. So in subsystem 1, what we're going to do is it's just a spool holder. It'll hold the 2 spools of filament, and that's pretty much it. In subsystem 2, that's where all the molding, the melting, the heating, and the cooling will occur. So on my right, or on the left, you'll see 2 motors, or 2 stepper motors, and they'll have motorized pulley, or they'll have pulleys with, they'll have pusher gears as well as wheels with grooves on it, and this is just to move the filament. And then on the right of it, you will have a laser and a photoelectric cell. So as the filament's passing by it, no light will pass through, but once the filament runs out, light will be able to pass through the photoelectric cell and tell one of the motors to eject filament from one of the motors. Once that's done, it will move on to the heating and cooling process, where we'll have a copper or brass plate and a heating element underneath it. And what will happen is we'll have another laser on its right, and what it will do is once it detects that the filament is passes by, it will signal the heating element to heat up the brass plate, as well as tell the fan to turn on afterwards. And after that, it'll move on to subsystem 3.
So for subsystem 3, this is where the excess filament is stored. The filament goes through the 3 pulleys, and then it creates a tolerance by the pulleys moving towards the center, and then such that the filament can be joined while the printer is still printing. And there's another one. Oh, this.
And we want to thank the New York City Building Congress, obviously the school, Cooper Union, Con Ed, our amazing instructor, engineering genius, Mike, Ching Shi, Kevin, Maureen, and of course Brian for helping with all those little bolts that we don't know about. Sunisa too, Brandy, sorry we lost your sewing kit, we found it. Professor Deli Grammaticas for organizing this whole thing, and Professor Alan Wolf for helping us write a really complicated patent. So thanks.
Hi, I'm Andrea Lenko, and I go to the Academy for Math, Science, and Engineering.
I'm Rachel Wu from Bergen Tech.
I'm Atif from BASE.
I'm Raj Patel from Paramus High School.
And I'm CJ from Stuyvesant High School.
We, the painters, are bringing you our revolutionary paintbrush that will change the world of painting forever. In a sleek and slim shell, the color possibilities are endless. No more toiling for hours to find the perfect hue of blue. No more wasting thousands on rare shades only to be used once. With a palette paintbrush, just scan any color and paint vivid landscapes that perfectly portray the original, paint portraits more true to life than ever before, and capture the brilliant hues of life. We take the pain out of painting.
All right, so the problem is it's really hard to mix paint to get the exact color that you want, and when you try to do so, it takes a lot of time and you end up being very messy, as you can see. So we thought of making a paintbrush that can scan any color, and it would have motors, screws, and mixing nozzles to mix the colors. And all you have to do is squeeze the pump to get the paint out, and you can paint with the color that you scanned.
So this is our inventor model of our project. So as you can see, there are screws, and the idea, as we will explain later, is to use the motors. Those motors will turn at a certain rate, pushing the screws, and in turn, the plunges will go down through the cartridge, and the paint will come out through the system, as you can see.
So electronically wise, how it would work is that you would first place the color that you would want to use and press it on the RGB sensor and press the button. And that will do two things. One, it will light up the RGB LED to whatever color you scan to let you know that the sensor picked up that color. And two, it will tell the Arduino to convert those RGB values to CMYK to control the motors. So if you scan something that, let's say, was 60% cyan, it will tell the cyan motor to rotate at 60% of its full speed.
To go into further detail about the paint dispensing system, the motors will rotate a screw, which should have been here, but it's not here. But anyways, the screw acts as a lead screw, and the plunger, which will be on the screw, moves up and down and pushes out the paint.
So we decided to include a pump in our paintbrush because we needed a way to push the paint through a mixing chamber. So we thought the best way to do this was to create a buildup of air pressure inside the pump, inside the brush, which would push the paint out. So when we squeeze on the pump, it stops the air from escaping the valves. And when we let go of the pump, it allows air to enter the brush.
We have a short video which demonstrates how a mixing compartment will work. And on the right, you can see our 3D printed mixing helix. So in the video, you can see it starts out as primary paint colors, and then as it travels through the cartridge, it will become a solid color.
This is our prototype model we've been working on for the past 6 weeks. It's still in the works, but we do have a patent pending on the design and the creation of the model.
So we'd like to thank Con Edison, the New York Building Congress, and of course Cooper Union for making this possible. So thank you.
Hi, I am David Ferris from Mepham High School. I'm Sam Kaplan from Roslyn High School.
I'm Kelly Gebman from Kennedy Catholic High School.
And we created a wave-powered generator, which we have codenamed Midas. With the advancements and development of alternative energy, fossil fuels are becoming the past. They're like dinosaurs, and they're made from them too. We have developed a device that turns simple ocean waves into useful electricity. We believe that although we have made a small-scale model, a large scale of these could be mass-produced and help provide electricity to America.
Like Dave said, on its own it doesn't produce much. Our innovative design is not so original in its concept, but innovative in its use. It's basically just a water wheel, but it's mounted very close to shore, which is where waves break the hardest and generate the most electricity from the movement, unlike most wave-generating technologies today, which are mounted like in the middle of the ocean and are very hard to fix or repair if they get broken.
We chose to use a proven method for generating electricity. The circular casing shown in the image is full of 3 very powerful earth magnets, which rotate inside of a copper coil, and this process is supported by Faraday's law, which says that if a copper coil interrupts a magnetic field, electricity is produced.
Just to run you through the motion of what will actually happen, when a wave strikes the water wheel, which is in blue here, it'll move that center axis, which is also happen to be on a gear, which then moves the perpendicular gear, which is there, it's kind of hard to see, which then spins, as Kelly pointed out, the magnets inside the casing around the copper coil, which will generate electricity.
The electricity generated by our generator is an alternating current, and in order to make Midas a more versatile power source, we needed to convert this alternating current to a direct current, and we did that with the circuit shown, and this direct current could be used to power any number of things, but with just the current from our generator, we were able to power 3 LEDs. This is the latest model of Midas, which, as you can see, is small scale, and it functions, which we're very happy to say. And the circuit is placed on top there, and the circuit could be used to power any number of things, so there are many possibilities for this in the future. But we were getting around only a few volts, which is huge for a small-scale model.
And here, since we did not have any devices to replicate the waves, we used a hose of compressed air to power the wheel, and you can see there it is working extremely well. It could go at fast speeds and still be able to spin nonstop without any sort of jamming or stagnation.
Since we only have 6 weeks, we got a lot done, but there's a bunch of things that we had in mind that we didn't get to. One of them is a step-up transformer, which we would basically just add onto the circuit at the end, and that would increase our total voltage, so that could be useful. Another idea we had was a torsional spring, which would basically be charged as the water wheel spins and then released for a greater amount of voltage, because we know from Faraday's law that the faster magnets spin, the more voltage is generated. And obviously, the more coils of wire we have, the greater the amount of voltage we generate. And then we did have some problems with 3D printed parts, just because they're not as accurate or as strong. So if this were to be manufactured, many parts would have to be machined.
We got a ton done in this 6 weeks, and we wouldn't have been able to do any of it without all of those people listed above. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Ankit and I go to Horace Mann School. I'm Xingyu, I go to Brown Science.
I'm Stephanie and I also go to Horace Mann School. And I'm Olga and I go to Riverdale Country School.
So the problem that we wanted to tackle was anxiety and the symptoms of anxiety, and we did that by making an anti-anxiety wristband.
So what's the problem? According to National Institute of Mental Health, more than 40 million Americans are suffering anxiety, and a large population of them are undiagnosed. And according to the scientific research, anxiety is a result of anger and frustration on a daily basis.
Okay, so our solution is a wristband, as shown above, that can massage and tighten, vibrate, heat up, and cool down. And all of these things, of course, we didn't just come up with. We did a lot of scientific research and found a lot of journals that have evidence to support all the different ways in which we want this wristband to help treat anxiety. And for example, one of the journals, the Neuroscience Journal, says that massage therapy increases serotonin. And there's other things like decreasing heart rate and blood pressure. So definitely it will be helpful.
So what you are looking at right now is our massaging mechanism. We have two pieces shown in this diagram. The first one that is on the bottom are the two stepper motors that we used, and attached to those on top of the gear are two 3D printed like massaging heads kind of. So the way it works is we activate this stepper motor by an Arduino and we uploaded code to this, and then they will spin for 30 seconds and change direction.
In addition to the massaging mechanism, we also have a tightening mechanism, and as shown in the diagram above, you can see the two strings attached to the stepper motor. So as the stepper motor rotates, the string will tighten or loosen according to the user's need to provide the comfort.
Okay, and one other mechanism is our vibrating mechanism. As you can see on the screen, this is our vibration motor, and basically when the user presses a button, it'll vibrate for 5 seconds and then turn off. And up next we have the heating and cooling mechanism, which is a motor controller paired with two thermoelectric generators. And the generators work with the Peltier effect, and Ankit will explain how exactly that works.
So we heard a little about the Peltier effect in the previous presentation, but just to reiterate, the way that it works is you have two sides to this thing, and as electricity passes through it, it will activate a heat pump that pushes the heat towards one side, making it get very hot, and then the other side, in effect, will get very cold.
So our working prototype is under patent pending. However, in comparison to the other wristbands of similar feature, our wristband can actually provide the functions to help the people suffering anxiety. On the other hand, other wristbands only detect the problem anxiety. For example, you are suffering anxiety with evidence of galvanic skin response sensor. So our wristband is much better and different from the other ones.
And of course, we'd like to acknowledge people that have made this possible. We'd like to thank Con Ed, the New York Building Congress, and the Albert Nerken School of Engineering. And also special thanks to Mike, Queen Kevin, Calvin, Eli, Maureen, Professor Alan Wolf, and Professor Doug Grammaticus for all of their help. And our project is available for viewing in room 101 if you get the chance to come down. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ben and I go to Livingston High School. My name is Daniel Kiss and I go to AF University Prep High School.
My name is Cynthia and I go to St. Jean Baptiste High School.
I'm Aurelie and I go to Rachel Carson High School. If you guys have seen the news recently, you guys will notice that police brutality is an issue that has to be fixed. And although body cameras do reduce the use of force, they have many problems, such as the fact that it only points straight and that they can easily fall off.
This would affect everyone in this crowd, everyone outside, and even the police officers. So now, this is the current system that they have now. It only points forward and it can fall off easily. Now, in recent reports, there have been times where police officers have been at a crime scene and the camera itself has fallen off. And we want something that's more secure and that is inexpensive, because some units in the force cannot afford to buy this camera because at times it can be very expensive. So with our design, we want to make something that's inexpensive, will be secure, and will help figure out what actually happened at the crime scene. So this is our design. It would move in the same direction as the police officer's neck would move, so that it would see what's actually going on. Because at times, it won't actually see the whole crime scene itself. And with it being attached to the police officer, it won't fall off as easily. And we want to make it on a budget of $150 so that units don't have to pay so much money just to get a simple camera.
Our invention is comprised of a Kevlar bib that goes over the head and up the neck. On the neck, you have 2 flex sensors, and these flex sensors detect the head motion and send a signal to the Arduino to power a pan-tilt mechanism to move the camera in every direction. Here we have our model Gertrude modeling our Kevlar bib that is also cut resistant to protect the officers. We use flex sensors on the neck, which are variable resistors that vary resistance according to the flex, and the Arduino can record that change in resistance. And the Arduino interprets the signals of the flex sensors 2 ways. When your head moves up and down, both the flex sensors move together. When your head moves left and right, the flex sensors move separately. By differentiating these 2 motions, the Arduino can control the pan-tilt mechanism to move the camera in accordance with the head.
So this is a pan-tilt mechanism, and we have 2 servos, and the top servo will help the camera move vertically, so up and down, and the bottom servo will help the camera move horizontally, so left and right. And this is our final product. As you can see, at the neck area, we have the 2 flex sensors that will help the camera move left and right, up and down. Below the 2 flex sensors, we have the circuits, which will allow the camera and the motion of the camera to be functional. And to the right of the camera, to the right of the circuits is the camera. And this is a little GIF of it in action. So we would like to acknowledge the different corporations and people up here who made this project possible for us. And thank you very much.